We are back here on June 10th, and we are doing some optional hive management. Now, this colony would be fine to run like this into winter, but it's wise to plan for winter losses. So what we're doing now is we're going through every colony in this yard, in this particular colony as well, and we're making splits out of it. We're pulling brood frames and bees out, and we're going to make a nucleus colony, drop a queen cell in it, and make preparations for winter losses this winter so that we have colonies again in the spring. It's what this colony was last year. It was a split that we made out of a different colony, dropped a queen into, ran through winter, and then brought here. So we're just turning that cycle over again. That's really all there is to it. It's fairly straightforward.
We use a bit of a more involved process here. Rather than just pulling frames out of it right there, we actually carry the whole box over to a stand that we have set up on some sawhorses just to get the bees up at eye level rather than bending over all day, because this is quite a lot of work. So we'll put the top box on one side and we'll bring the bottom box over and put it on the other side.
Again, optional management.
Yeah, you don't need to do this, but making splits is just wise to either replace your colony losses or even make bees to sell in the spring. These colonies are very strong. There's not any honey flow left, so we may as well do something with those bees, i.e. making new colonies. So carry those over. We're also going to grab a deep while you're over there. And we put that back in this slot so that it can catch all the foragers while we do the rest of our work.
Cuts down on confusion.
Makes the confusion less, and any bee that we kick out of those boxes will come back here and away from us rather than harassing us. So we'll leave that run like that, and then we go over to our splitting setup here, which you may have seen in another video. And here we'll have our frame rests, smokers, and we have, so set it up like that so we have some extra space. I have some boxes here that I'm going to be splitting into, and then we just go through pulling out brood frames, making up splits, looking for the queen. We have to find the queen with this process, or it causes problems. But go through the top and bottom box, find some brood frames, make some splits. When I find a brood frame I'm going to take, I'll bring you back in. Alright, luckily while I was going through here, second frame I pulled out, we found the queen. It makes the rest of this process great. Very, very simple. First time we've seen her in a while. But she's just going to go down into a holding box for now, get her out of the way. And now we can really move fast with the rest of the colony because we don't need to worry about moving the queen or crushing her.
Now all we need to do is look at a frame, and instead of trying to find the queen, we can say, are we splitting with this frame or not? And then move on.
So now we'll find some more brood frames and bring you back in. Right, so it doesn't take long when you're digging through these. We find some excellent frames. So that is a solid frame of cat brood on both sides.
Gorgeous.
It's an excellent frame. So we'll take that, we'll put that in the split. And we also have in here already another frame I pulled out of the colony that's kind of a half frame of brood. So we got
that's a strong half.
Little bits on this side, little bits on that side. That's going to make for a nice split here. So I'm trying to put two frames with brood on it that add together to about a frame and a half of cat brood, somewhere in that range. It's not an exact science.
Do we have a honey frame?
So we'll do that, and then we'll also give a frame of honey, of resources. These we're using from dead out colonies from last winter that we still have left over. And then we're also giving a frame of mostly open space. I think that one's mostly open space. So we put an empty frame in there. Now we're also going to put a feed frame. Now the empty frame with drawn comb is also optional. They would draw this themselves. We just have it, so we're using it up.
Gonna use it up for the wax moths find it.
Yep, use it or lose it. So we have that. That split is ready to go. Throw a cover on it so that they can't get out. And off we go. Some years we end up having to shake bees into it. That one might need some as well. We'll just go through and make probably 2 or 3 splits out of this colony. Alright, so that's done now. We actually got 5 brood frames out of that one. So 2.5 splits worth. Finishes off these 3 nukes. Now we just simply carry the boxes back from where they were, back over here. So you can see lots of bees around this entrance that we don't have to deal with because we were elsewhere. And also, all of those bees. Move this out of the way. Put the deep back on.
Most of these are foragers, which are the ones that get angry and sting you. So having them gone, excellent.
And just Loads of bees piling in. So it works pretty well for us.
I have thrown back in weak lines so I can afford to carry the heavy loads.
Yeah, carrying the boxes back and forth kind of is definitely the worst part of this, but it beats bending over all day. Okay, so that's back, and then we just stack the honey supers back on and we're done. And this one colony has now turned into 4.